As his career comes to a close this week, we're taking a few moments to look back.
Yes, but tonight, Dee, we're not looking back so much at me as we are the women in my TV life. My first anchor that I co-ed with was Jim Steer. And of course, Bruce Rice was there during that time. He was such a legend at TV5. My first co-anchor who was a woman was Karen Foss. And that was quite a story in itself because Karen was such an incredibly quick learner. She came here as a floor director 1 year. And a year and a half later, she was co-anchoring with me on the news. She had gone through the reporter ranks and on up to anchor, and she was what you call a natural pro. We anchored for about a year. We had a wonderful time together. We were very close, went to dinner every night together after the 6 o'clock news, and came back and did the 10. And she was always so composed in everything she did. I mean, from day one. There was only one time in all the time I worked with Karen that I saw her lose her composure, and it was only for 1 second.
And we'll be back at 6 and 10. For the Eyewitness News team, that was one of our lights blowing up, and everything's okay here. Wendall Anschutz, good night.
But then, of course, Karen was so good that she started getting offers from other stations. She got one from Miami, one from St. Louis, and she took the one in St. Louis, where she still is today. And I'll never forget that last day that she was on the air. Sandy and Dick Berkeley, the mayor and Mrs. Mayor at the time, came by and surprised Karen with a bouquet of roses. And she was just so impressed with it. And of course, she handled it so professionally. And here comes Ann Peterson, 23 years old when she walked into this station, 23 years old, and we started anchoring together. And we are still anchoring together today. Probably the oldest anchor team in the United States, as far as we know. We did a lot of things. We didn't just anchor. We did the American Royal, and we did the Spirit Fest. That's when it just started, and they held it down at Liberty Memorial. Ann and I worked together for so many years that after a while, we could kind of second guess each other. And she could tell when I needed help, and I could tell when she needed help. And I remember one time when I needed help. She describes him as a green alien with 3 eyes and 3 ears, but only 2 noses. The woman told police the intruder, who sounded like a male, broke into her apartment last night. I can't do it. Took a shot at her TV with a laser gun.
This is unbelievable.
However, she didn't say what program
That's
was
right.
playing.
Thank you, Ann. Did I make mistakes? Yes, I'll admit it. I made my share. Good evening. I'm Ann Peterson. I'm Wendall Anschutz. Ann Peterson has the night off. I want to show you a picture that I received in the mail just this week. And if you can take a look at that, there's Ann and I from a 1979 picture that we ran, an ad we ran in the paper. This lady sent it to me. She's kept it for all those years because there's a recipe for carrot cake on the back. Then, along about 83, 84, we started the 5 o'clock news, and that required a new co-anchor. So we brought in Lili Bliss, and she was probably the most gracious lady I have ever known. And you say lady, sometimes you think stuffy, but I'm talking about a lady who was fun to be around and just had a natural grace about her and a beautiful natural charm on the air. She just was, everything was appropriate about Lili. Even one time when she broke up, I thought she broke up with great charm.
Well, it's not the kind of day that you would... Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to go to Mr. Food now, and he has a recipe for making ice cream.
But Lili did one of the most courageous things I've ever seen an anchor person do, and that is she quit the 5 to be with her family, to spend more time with her family. And she also changed her name from Bliss to Shank because she said, my married name is Shank, and that's what I will be known by from now on. I always admired that. Well, that opened the door for Valissa Smith to come in. The thing I liked about Valissa is she loved field reporting. We started doing location reports. We did a week of broadcast from the Eisenhower Library. We did another week from the Ozarks. We did one from Branson, Missouri, when that took off. We did a series on Conception Abbey. We just did all of these things, and we had great fun doing them. And you know what? Bliss was a pretty good actress, as I found out when she did this open for the American Royal with me.
What have you got?
Aces and eights. The dead man's hand.
An American Royal.
I've never seen one of those.
That's because you only see them in Kansas City.
I think about the best ad libber I ever saw was Tracy Townsend, who did the American Royal with me too. She was very spontaneous. And I remember on the set she used to come up with some pretty good, she had a story about a bear wandering into a shopping center one time. And she gave the story, and afterward I said, you know, that must have been a female bear because it knew where the shopping center was. She said, well, it couldn't have been a man because he wouldn't. But co-anchoring is a heartbreaking business because so often they're leaving to go somewhere else. That happened to Tracy. She went to WBBM in Chicago, the big time. And you know, I couldn't tell her not to because I knew what an opportunity it was for her. And I remember the night that we said goodbye to her on the set. Almost cried. We all hate to see you go. Well, no, but I don't think there's one of us that doesn't wish you the very best and isn't happy for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, my goodness.
And that brings us to this one. Dee Griffin has joined us only 2 months ago, and I've already just really fallen in love with. The thing I like about Dee is she is a happy person. She loves life. And she's the embodiment of that commercial, that Walmart commercial where if you don't have a smile, she'll give you one. She's wonderful. She's going to carry on, her and Russell and Dave. Not going to miss a beat.
Well, I've enjoyed working with you. I always tell Tony that I wish I had more time to work with Wendell,
same
but
here.
all good
Same
things
here,
must come to an end, and
That's
I appreciate all your help. You've been so wonderful and such a good journalist. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I'll be around.
And keep those laughs.
Okay, you betcha.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.